It's the most wonderful time. So that's arguable, but it doesn't have to be a nightmare either. Hi, I'm Elise with the Jam Witch. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button down below, and if you like this video, give it a like. But I'm here today to tell you how to survive the crazy holiday season. So whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah, everyone is usually stressed this time of the year, though I would like to inform you that suicides are not higher during the holiday season. Look it up. People tend to hate the holidays. You either love them or you hate them, right? Why do some people hate them? Well, obviously there's a lot of pressure put on people. There's pressure put on you from your family. There's pressure put on you from your kids. Especially if you have kids, you know, kids are watching movies and seeing commercials and talking to their friends and are maybe expecting a certain standard for the gifts that they receive or the Christmas that they experience. There's also pressure to spend money, and there's rampant consumerism, which can just be a bummer in general, especially if you don't have a super amount of expendable money to spend. And some of my more cynical friends out there might just really not like the relentless cheeriness going around. People, try to be holly jolly around this season, and some people just really hate putting a smile on their face. So here's some tips to help you survive this holiday season. Oh, by the way, do you like my hat? It looks really good with the short hair, right? Like a little elf. Here are some tips for surviving. One of them is there's no rules. So this is something that I've actually been telling myself just in general lately, is there's no rules. I love that Domino's commercial where he takes his shirt off and he's like, there's no rules. And they're like, put your shirt on, sir. And he's like, there's one rule. There's rules, but I mean, there's rules that you put on yourself, and there's pressures that you put on yourself that no one else is literally making. Like, you're making these rules and you're setting these pressures upon yourself, and nobody else is. So just take these rules off yourself. Take these pressures off yourself. There's no rules. There's no rules for how you're supposed to enjoy the holidays. There's no rules for how you're supposed to be happy and enjoy life. This is your life. This is your experience. So do it however you want to do it. This next tip is kind of a rule, I guess, but and it's very practical, but it's to set a budget and plan. Planning always puts my mind at ease, and having a set budget makes everything easier because then you won't overspend, you won't max out a credit card. People are just gonna get what they get. That's something that I've learned in previous years, was I would put so much pressure on myself and get really upset that I couldn't buy all of the things that I wanted to buy people, or I couldn't buy the expensive things that I really wanted to get for people. But people are just gonna get what they get. They're gonna get something from you, right? And it's the thought that counts. So set your own budget, don't max it out. Look at who the people that you have to buy it for, look how much money you have to spend, and plan it, be practical about it. Plan when you're gonna go shopping, plan when the deadline is for shopping online so you don't find yourself right up against a shipping time that is going to be hard to happen. So sit down and look at your December calendar real quick and just pick a couple days that you can do this. If you have kids, it can be a really hard time for parents, especially if you're not making a lot of disposable income, and of course you really want to make a magical Christmas for your children. What you can do to make a really simple Christmas wish list for your kids is to write on a piece of paper, write I want, I need, I'll wear, I'll read. So that gives them 4 things to put on their list. There's other ways to make it magical for them other than getting them super expensive gifts. Getting a lot of little presents is always fun. I always talk to my son about Christmas and told him, what I wanted to get for him, which was usually books and clothes. And I told him that Santa, has his elves that make toys, and they don't really make laptops or expensive things like that. They make toys. So when we did continue the Santa tradition, he didn't have super crazy expectations, but he was young enough that he wasn't asking for iPhones or things like that, and toys were still just wonderful to receive. As he got older, he realized Santa wasn't real, and that's when he would start wanting expensive things. But he was also, at 11 years old and 12 years old, he was mature enough to know what kind of jobs we worked and what kind of budget we had, and thank goodness Christmas that I had a child that was understanding of that. But at the same time, I was very real with him. Starting out with a simple list like this, where your kids can just give you 4 really simple ideas, is a great place to start. My next tip is to focus more on traditions than just the gift giving, and you can make traditions that are free or cheap. We have tons of traditions in our family. Obviously, one is setting up the nativity scene and decorating the tree together. We always decorate the tree together. The kids have their own special ornaments that they always put on the tree. We always have a pickle ornament that I hide, and each year the kids fight over finding the pickle ornament on the tree, and we give them a prize if they find the pickle ornament. We also have a cookie day where I just make cookies all day. I make a bunch of Christmas cookies and then I give them out to my family on Christmas and Christmas Eve. Another thing that could take the pressure off a little bit is making handmade gifts or food gifts. This is going to save you money and people really love receiving them. YouTube, it has tons of ideas for making DIY gifts, as well as Pinterest, and just the internet in general has tons of great DIY videos for how to make some great handmade gifts. If you're really good in the kitchen, people love food gifts as well, like cookies, zucchini bread, banana bread, and stuff like that. And people love to receive drinks too. I mean, wine is like a great gift for a lot of people, or like a really nice bottle of whiskey if you have a little bit more money. So food and drinks make really good gifts, and handmade items are always appreciated. So obviously you're going to be expected to make some compromises. You're probably going to see some family members that you don't really want to see, or wear a buttoned up outfit that you don't really feel like wearing. So you're probably gonna do some things that you don't really want to do. Take your kids to see Santa and have to stand in a long line, etc. Don't feel afraid to put your foot down about some things. Make compromises, and compromises mean that, you know, both parties meet in the middle. So don't let yourself get stepped on. If you're the person that's always traveling to everybody's house and you end up going to like 4 houses in a day to visit everyone, put your foot down. Say, even just if it's just 1 year, say, this year I am not going to all of your people's houses. Say, I'm going to like 1 or 2, and you guys can come to me if you want to see me. Or see if you can visit on Christmas Eve instead, or pick a different day. Try to make compromises with people and don't get stepped on. You know, put your foot down so that you're not like completely pulling your hair out and completely burnt out and you don't enjoy it at all. My last tip is to try to remember the magic of the season. Watch lots of movies that you watched, especially when you were a kid. You know, we remember something really magical about Christmas that kind of goes away over the years as we get older and more cynical, and we feel more pressures on ourselves, that it kind of loses that magic. So do something that reminds you of being a kid and reminds you of that magic. I love watching Home Alone. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I remember when I saw Nightmare Before Christmas in the movies, I started drawing all the characters, and my mom asked my dad, who took me to the movie, she was like, what did you take her to watch? Because they're so weird. But I watch Nightmare Before Christmas every year. We watch A Christmas Story marathon on Christmas Eve every year. We have lasagna every year on Christmas Eve. I don't know why. But these are just things that we did when I was a kid, and I just have continued to do, and it just reminds me of the magic of Christmas and takes me back to that magical feeling. You know, always having stocking stuffers and opening the stocking before you look at any of the other presents, putting an orange in the bottom of the stocking. You know, just remember all the little traditions. Try to remember what really made it special for you as a kid, and just try to bring that spark back a little bit. Don't forget to tell me in the comments below what drives you the craziest during holiday season and how you manage to keep it all together. So I hope that was helpful for you, and I hope that you're not feeling too stressed this holiday season. We still have some time. I think that's another thing that gets people stressed out about the holidays, is like there's a crunch on time. Like it's only like 25 days that we have to make all of this holly jolly happen, right? So we're in the beginning of December. We still have a little bit of time, but like go ahead and open up your calendar, do some planning, make some magic, and have a good time. There's no rules. I'll talk to you later. Bye.